Quick question. You don't have to. It's your choice. You yield.
Yeah, please.
So
I would love to discuss this.
are you admitting that Joe Biden did get the prosecutor in Ukraine fired?
I think it's very clear that Vice President Biden, along with all of our allies in Europe, pressured Ukraine to fire a corrupt prosecutor general who was not charging corruption cases that would have included potentially Burisma.
Corruption with his son's company?
Yes. In fact, if what he wanted was the prosecutor general to prosecute corruption, and the allegations that you are making and that the Russians are making, because this is all part of Russian propaganda, is that Burisma was corrupt and Joe Biden was trying to stop an investigation into Burisma. That is categorically false, and there is no evidence of it.
Mr. Chairman.
We're gonna recognize one more speaker. We've been requested by the presenters for a brief bathroom break. If you'll allow us, we have one more questioner, and then we'll take that break. Chair recognizes Mr. Timmons for 5 minutes, and then we'll have a 5 to 10 minute break. Mr. Timmons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a big picture problem right now, and we're talking about Twitter specifically and Hunter Biden's laptop, but it's not just that. It's the general trend of the media, social media, the FBI, DOJ, doing one side's bidding. That's the issue. There's mistakes that have been made, and we keep looking back at these mistakes and say, oh, that shouldn't have happened that way. We are going to have a new policy to avoid that from happening again. But every mistake benefits one side. Every mistake benefits one side. Let's go back to 2016. The Democrat National Committee and the Clinton campaign paid Fusion GPS to fabricate the Steele dossier, which was the basis of this entire Russia collusion investigation. Special counsel, we spent $40 million pursuing it. There was no evidence of the Trump campaign colluding with Russia. There was none. It was actually fabricated by the Democrats and the Clinton campaign to create a narrative to damage President Trump. So that was a mistake. We all know that now. That was the conclusion of that investigation. So, and as a side note, that's why Adam Schiff is no longer on Intel, because he lied about that investigation. He said, as the chair of Intel, I have all this information. He abused his position, and that's why he was removed from Intel. So next, we go to 2020. Another mistake. We have something that is real labeled as something that is fake. We tell the American people that we're going to have an honest, open conversation about issues, about challenges that our country faces, and everybody has their own facts. Congressman from New York is mentioning his facts. It's just very bizarre that Hunter Biden making tens of thousands of dollars a month with no credentials from a business in Ukraine, whether they're being investigated, who knows? I mean, these are all speculation, and it's something the American people can't really digest because we don't know the answers to it. And when we're told the answers by our government, by big corporations, by big tech, and they're repeatedly wrong, it creates a trust issue. It creates a trust issue. So the American people do not trust what they're being told. They do not trust what they're being told. We're going to dig into the Hunter Biden laptop briefly. Jack Dorsey has said that he did not make that decision. Ms. Gaddy, did you make the decision to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story?
Yes, I was involved in that decision.
Who was the final arbiter? Because Mr. Roth has said he disagreed with that decision. Who was the final person that said, we're going to do this?
I ultimately approved that decision.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Roth, you have said previously that you did not believe that the New York Post story violated any policy. You've said that multiple times today. How many times, other than this one, did something get banned or flagged that you disagreed with? Is this the only one?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, so
these are
Twitter
challenging.
Twitter repeatedly banned and censored material that you thought shouldn't be censored. Is that fair?
These are challenging judgment calls, and I think reasonable minds can differ about whether a given piece of content.
Okay, but on this one
does
you
or
did
doesn't.
disagree. I just want to say, the American people need to have valid information to process decisions. I would argue that denying the American people the substance of Hunter Biden's laptop story was Hunter Biden's laptop was wrong. You got photos and text messages of Hunter Biden committing multiple felonies, which was never actually criminal. There were no criminal charges. Must be nice. Hunter Biden and James Biden were negotiating deals with Chinese Communist Party agents, one of whom Hunter Biden classified as the spy chief of China. We have evidence at least one of Hunter's deals with Chinese Communist Party linked entities. Joe Biden was given a 10% equity stake in the joint venture. You have evidence that the Bidens were trying to sell America's natural resources to the Chinese, and this is my personal favorite. Evidence that the Bidens and a Chinese energy company owned by the Chinese Communist Party had leased office space no further than 3 miles from where we're sitting right now. And the man running for president had his own office in that office space, his own personal office. You think the American people deserve to know that? I do. I think that there's a lot of smoke surrounding the Biden's relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. There's a lot of smoke surrounding the Biden's relationship with Ukraine. And they deserve to have the facts to make a decision for themselves. Y'all got it wrong in 2016 with Russian collusion. You got it wrong with Hunter Biden's laptop in 2020. You got it wrong regarding COVID at every turn. The American people deserve better.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Gentleman yield.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?